I grew up on City Street in Belize City. That's right opposite to the canal side. I grew up in a house with myself. I had 5 aunts, my grandmother, my mother, and an uncle, 2 uncles. It was a 2-bedroom house. And in the house, you literally had a drain. So when it would rain, the water would pour out of the house. Every evening, we would go and get thread, if we had thread or old scraps of fishing line, tie it together and go fishing in the canal for cattle. I would say that I was raised among more women than of men. So I would tend to see the world through their eyes, especially as it relates to stereotypes of being a black man. And my mother to my aunts would always give me insights to what they go through and always applied those stories to me in letting me know that you don't operate or you don't do things like this. I grew up in a neighborhood where the police would come and do their search. You would see the physical fights. You would see men abusing their wives. You'd see people taking crack. Marijuana being sold. Looking at those things from a young age, they would always say, you know what, you don't need to live your life like this. I recall being in Infant 1, and there was this young man who had a nice, pretty red sharpener. And I saw the sharpener and I took it home. And when I brought it home, my mother looked at it and she said, "Who did you receive this from?" And I said, "It was given to me." And she said, "No," she said she's going to school to find out who gave you that sharpener. And I thought she was joking, and she showed up the afternoon and she found out that the sharpener was stolen. Now, as a child, I was ashamed because everyone knew I stole the sharpener. And when I got home, my mama gave me a beating. And she said to me, "It doesn't mean because you come from this situation or you're within this environment, that means that you have to practice the same thing that you see." And for me, that made a difference in my life because it made me understood that even though, yes, we never had it, that didn't give me the option to say I needed to steal. Last year, I did my internship at the prison at the Wagner's facility. And I spent time with juvenile inmates that were incarcerated. And hearing their story, it related to my story. But in between that, it's like I looked at myself in their shoe. And I could say to myself, leaving there, each time I would go, and I would be in the shower, I would literally have tears that came down my eyes, and because of the shower and the water, it's like you don't want to literally feel yourself crying, but I knew for a fact that I was crying because I felt like them just being behind those bars. Looking at that situation made me realize the impact of what my mother had on me. Even though, yes, we don't really advocate for hitting a child, but it was one of the ways that she knew how to keep me as her son in line. And that one situation made me appreciate who I am today because I realized that that could have been me, but because she did that, it was just to show me that at the end of the day, in actuality, if you really do want to accomplish certain things in your life, it doesn't mean that because we came from this environment that we always had to be this way. I always do my best in trying to inspire other young men like myself, same color skin, came from the same environment, to say that, you know what, we don't need to go down this road just because, hey, we're black or this is what we see on TV. This is not really us. We are intelligent, we are powerful, we are knowledgeable, and we need to work as hard as anyone else if we want to contribute to a better Belize.
I look into the window of my mind. Reflections of the fears I know